Yeah, and you hear people talk a lot about the system being broken. Our system's broken. It's not working, but it's working exactly as it's intended to work. It's like when they talk about the border, Joe Biden's failures at the border, as if opening up the border was a whoopsie and he just kind of spilled the milk and opened the border. The system's working exactly as they want it to work.
That's kind of the beauty of Joe Biden. You might think, look at this guy and say, oh man, of course, he's ridiculous. He doesn't know where he is. He has dementia. Yeah, okay, sure. And that makes you feel like the government is incompetent. But like you said, it's not incompetent. It's very competent at what it wants to do. The Department of Education may not be able to teach you how to read or write, but it's very good at teaching your kids to hate you due to the color of their skin, to hate the United States and its history. Yes, the border patrol feels like it's not actually doing its job, but the real job is to make sure that the borders stay open until the demographics in the United States change and the Democrats secure a permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. Of course, it looks like the Department of Defense is not actually defending the United States, but it is defending the border of Ukraine and any other nation that donates enough money to our politicians that can be funneled back through their different connections. And so these things are fulfilling their purpose. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they do it all under the cover of some kind of incompetence.
You have a piece up talking about the competency crisis. I love that, the way you put that, the competency crisis. What are you talking about?
So obviously, when we look at what is being selected inside of the different institutions of the United States, you would, of course, want competency to be the key, right? We want them to be able to do their jobs. We want them to be able to land planes. We want them to be able to protect the border. We want them to be able to, repair bridges or keep the power on. But what we're selecting for right now inside our institutions is political loyalty. Now, the good thing for the Democrats, the good thing for the left, is that allows them to be very effective agencies when it comes to pushing leftist priorities. Everyone inside has been selected for their ability to toe the party line and tell any lie necessary to advance the left's position. So they're effective in that way. They're competent in that way. But what they're becoming incompetent in doing is their actual job, the job they were originally created to do. And so what we're building up is a backstop of all these people who are hired just due to the color of the skin or the number of people they'll sleep with of whatever gender they might happen to have made up, but nobody who can actually do the job that they're supposed to do. We're phasing out that generation that was selected for their competence, and we're bringing in a whole nother generation of people who have no ability other than to kiss the boots of the party. It's Leninism all the way down.
You mentioned the planes. It is wild to watch what's happening, Auron, about really the degradation of everything. Everything is rotting, and a lot of people can't put their finger on it. They can't put it into words, but they look around them and they can sense it. You can sense it when you call customer service, when you fly, when you do everything. And that's really like what you were just talking about. Diversity is the death of everything. As soon as you move from being a merit-based society, everything just dies.
Well, and we split the incentives, right? There's no skin in the game. The people who used to run these organizations used to have to go home to the communities that were impacted by what they were doing. Their children, their grandchildren had to live in the society they were building. Now we're run by a bunch of people who have no connection. They hide themselves in these high-end communities that are not impacted by the types of decisions that they make. You think Gavin Newsom is living in any of the communities where he's letting drug addicts on the streets, where he's allowing these mass shoplifting rings? Of course not. He's protecting himself from this thing. He has no investment in the actual communities he's destroying. And we see this across every sector in the United States. No one has to live with the consequences of the actions. So when you separate the incentives inside these bureaucratic structures from the actual outcomes that they are making decisions on, then they feel like they can do anything. And the only thing they really need to do to advance their career is, again, swear their loyalty to leftism. So there's just no incentive for them to save or care for the people, and every incentive for them to lick the boots of the regime.